I think the biggest question is, can Notre Dame duplicate what Texas did to Jeremiah Smith, and does Ohio State have an answer for that? I mean, that defines a lot of what they do, and I think that you saw when the vertical passing game is not there for Ohio State, they struggle. They can't run the ball very well. They didn't run the ball well tonight at all. And underneath stuff, they don't have a ton of guys, if they're not getting creative and getting Jeremiah Smith the ball, that can turn a 6-yard play into a 40-yard play. There's just not a lot of opportunity for that. So I'll be really interested to see that. What's sort of the one thing that jumps out to you about this matchup, Dave?
I just want to see Chip Kelly find a way to get these backs going, because them not being able to run the ball will be a huge problem against Notre Dame, because Notre Dame is not – and obviously the stats speak for themselves as far as Notre Dame having the most takeaways, but they do it at the most inopportune times. I mean, look at when they picked off Drew Aller. Right when McElroy was sitting here talking about, like, oh, Drew Aller, he really protects the ball. He does a great job of not turning it over. That's why I'd be aggressive in this moment. I was literally like, Frank, shut up. You're going to jinx him. Like, it's going to happen. And he did. But, Notre Dame is great at making the opportune, like at the right moment, at the right time. And if they can't run the ball, being Ohio State, they're going to struggle. And these are two really, really good backs. So I don't think that their lack of production at running the ball is because of the backs. I just think that they're not scheming it up well enough. I think the focus is too much on how to get Jeremiah Smith open, how to create mismatch for him. If you look at, the run game from Ohio State, one thing that I wrote in my notes when I was watching, even though he didn't have a ton of yards, you cannot tell me that Quinshon Judkins does not run the ball hard as hell. Like, he finishes runs. He tries to punish. I looked at the first run of the game where he punished somebody after a 4 or 5 yard run. It might have been Muhammad, and he got up and he was saying a bunch of stuff that, again, I can't say on here. I was like, okay, he's setting the tone for the game. Now, if you can just create more of that and less of the 1 yard, the 2 yards, like even if it's 4 and 5 yards a pop, that's a first down in 2 plays. So I really just want to see Chip Kelly find a way to get the ground game going, because, again, I think focusing too much on getting Jeremiah Smith open, everybody in the stadium knows that you're trying to get him the ball. Everybody knows when Will Howard drops back, he's looking for 4. He tried to force feed it to him a couple times. One of it got picked off. Could have thrown some more picks. At the end of the day, like they have too special of running backs between Judkins and Henderson to not spring them open and get them going. And again, if they're not able to do that and they make this a one-dimensional game and they take away Jeremiah Smith and they put the game on Will Howard to find other guys and make the right throw and make the right read every single time, Notre Dame is great at making him at forcing quarterbacks in situations like that to make inopportune turnovers.
I just don't know how Notre Dame's going to score in that ball game. I mean, you look at Notre Dame, you look at the Texas matchup. Texas has got a better passer, probably a better offensive line. I mean, it's probably close, and way better weapons. Like, not even close better weapons.
Yeah.
Notre Dame's got a better back. I like, obviously, we like Jeremiah Love. I really like what we've seen from Jadarian Price in this playoff.
Yeah, him too.
Banged up. But I think if you take away Riley Leonard's legs and you just keep him contained, you spy him, I don't know how they score. I don't love their weapons. Yeah. And Riley Leonard is, he's not Peyton Manning. I just, I don't love this matchup for Notre Dame. And I think, too, it comes down to a little bit of, I think they can slow down Ohio State, but which Ohio State team shows up in this game?
Yeah.
And they didn't play well tonight. Ohio State, what was this, a C+ for them? B-?
Yeah. Like, this is not even close to the team we saw play against Oregon.
No, a lot of mistakes. They weren't moving people. Obviously, that they couldn't get Egbuka and Smith really going as much as they would like. But hey, Carnell Tate and G. Scott were cooking tonight. So, they got dudes. So I really and again, also Anthony Knapp left the game injured in this one for Notre Dame. So they're one of their tackles. So it's going to be an interesting matchup, and I just think it's going to be kind of low scoring. And I just think Ohio State scores a bit more in that one. I don't love that matchup for Notre Dame, but we'll see. We'll see who else healthy, how this week plays out, and Lou Holtz, call us. It's gonna be quite a thing.